You know, ladies and gentlemen, the story around Alan Wake 2 is a pretty funny one because these developers, they want to sit here and pretend as if things are okay. Most of the time, they want to sit here and pretend as if, oh, yeah, no, we're totally doing fine. Everything's good. But when they have to truly sit down and admit their failures, you really see the level of cope that happens in the interview where they're admitting said failure. Well, we have Remedy apparently revealing the new number for Alan Wake 2. So they finally announced new numbers for it in the sales, which, hey, kudos to them for actually announcing the sales, unlike other people, right? Dragon Age the Veilguard, but still, announcing your sales, kudos to you. Alan Wake 2 has sold 1.8 million copies in its lifetime, still not profitable, still hasn't made its money back, and apparently the CEO is now admitting that they're not happy that the game isn't profitable by now.
For a modern gaming audience.
Now, again, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like every few months we have a little bit of a crawl status update when it comes to Alan Wake 2, as if anybody cares. You know what I mean? Like, it's funny. If it wasn't for me reporting it or other people, nobody would really care. We're the ones that bring that information. So I don't know who they think cares on their end to know that they sold 1.8 million copies, but that's neither here nor there. This game selling 1.8 million copies is at a super crawl speed. This game's been out for a while now and still is not profitable and probably won't be profitable for another year or so, maybe if they're lucky. I think it's insane. And it goes to show that no matter what, they are going to have to, at some point, admit that there has to be a change in development somewhere, somehow, right? If it's Sweet Baby Inc., whatever. If it's ideology being injected, whatever. Like, figure it out. If it's your budget, okay, figure it out. They even admit that they overspent and overinvested in this game, which again, I think is a good admission to make, considering that, yes, budgets have been ballooned to astronomical proportions, and this is the reason why you guys are failing on top of other things. So let's get into this article, guys, from Fandom Pulse. But of course, before we do, if you are new here, just consider hitting that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate it, and like the video to push us out into that YouTube algorithm. So it says, Remedy Entertainment finally provided another sales update for the Sweet Baby Inc. infected Alan Wake 2 game and shared that the game has only sold 1.8 million copies in total. Now, I wouldn't say only sold, just because that's still more than Dragon Age the Veilguard, which is sad, okay? That is very, very, very sad. What world do we live in where Alan Wake 2 is outselling Dragon Age the Veilguard is insane. So that just goes to show that BioWare should be extra ashamed of themselves. In a post, Remedy announced Alan Wake 2 has sold over 1.8 million units. Furthermore, it shared that Control 2 will be an action RPG and that it will release a Control Ultimate Edition to Mac on February 12, 2025. Finally, it shared that it will give a free Control update sometime in early of 2025. Now, again, I want to be very clear. I like that this developer, Remedy Entertainment, is actually putting out updates on their Twitter, showcasing transparent numbers. I think that's important. I think other developers should do this, whether good or bad. Own it. You know what I mean? Own your numbers. Whatever they end up being, just own your numbers, because that level of transparency will start to build faith in your company, even if it's slightly. It will start to build more faith in your company, even if you're dumb enough to work with Sweet Baby Inc. During a Q&A presentation, Remedy CEO Bertala was questioned about what he thought about the sales of Alan Wake 2. Now, this is the most important thing, because you don't normally get this level of admission, so this is why I wanted to report on it and talk about it. He said, I think Alan Wake 2, the sales have two sides. On the one hand, when the game is not yet profitable, are we happy? No, we are not happy. Every game that we make, especially with this quality level, they should be profitable faster. I agree. They should be profitable faster. So now you have to sit there and ask yourself, why is it not profitable? Why? There's got to be reasons, right? Why is it not profitable? You invested all this money, amazing graphics, right? You think you told a good story. Why is it not profitable? This is when you have to sit there and admit that there is a culture around games that you are choosing to ignore. There is a conversation surrounding this title that you are choosing to ignore. You don't want to talk about the SBI involvement. You don't want to admit that perhaps partnering with SBI was not the best of decisions. You don't want to admit this. You don't want to even have the conversation. You want to protect them, or you want to pretend like they don't exist. Either or, it's the same thing. But then at the same time, the sales of Alan Wake 2 have been quite in line with our original estimates, which that's odd to me because I could have sworn they said earlier about a couple of months ago that it wasn't in line with their original estimates. So is it in line or is it not in line? I don't understand. Yes, our productions didn't quite work as well as they do today. A few years back, in a way, we ended up investing more into the game, and therefore the part set has been higher. So with the higher part set, this is in a way forecasted sales that we have followed hasn't yet been enough to equal the development costs. I wouldn't want to speculate what the long-term possibilities are, he continued. Our business cases depend on the games are 3 to 5 years, so there is still a lot of time for Alan Wake 2 to sell. We have seen that Control over 5 years has sold 4.5 million units and continues to sell. So we do think Alan Wake 2 still has potential ahead of it, he concluded. I think it's pretty insane that their strategy is to make a profit over 4 to 5 years instead of trying to make a profit as soon as possible. And again, he even admitted in the beginning that the game should be profitable faster. And I agree, Alan Wake 2 should have been profitable faster. There is something clearly holding back this game, and nobody wants to talk about what that might be. Even though we're the ones talking about it, they don't want to talk about it. They want to look at it and be like, well, it'll make money eventually. You know what I mean? It's like, what kind of mindset is that? What kind of there's no pride in your product if you're like, well, eventually, at a very, very slow crawl, it'll make money eventually. Maybe 5 years from now, when it hits 4.5 million units like Control did, after we put it on sale for $9.99 enough times, maybe it'll make money. I think it's insane, and I think it's one of those things where it's not even about the unit number, it's about how much money you're getting per unit. If you got to put your game on sale for $5.99, $9.99, whatever, when it's originally a $60, $70 game, yeah, obviously it's going to take 7 units for it to equal one regular priced unit, and you're going to have to sell a lot of units to even come close to making your money that you would have made if you would have convinced people to buy it at full price and made it such a hot game to buy. But you just didn't do that, right? People were ignoring the game on release, and now you've had to put the game on sale multiple times. Hell, you even had to offer the game for free. I believe I have the game for free on Epic Games right now. So again, this stuff doesn't count, right? I hope they're not counting that into sales. That'll be absolutely ridiculous. But you never know, to be honest with you. This is the mainstream gaming industry. So again, guys, I think when it comes to Alan Wake 2, they definitely had an opportunity here to make money, and they chose not to. Finnish analyst Ati Ricola had previously estimated that the game costs 70 million euro, with 50 million euro going into development, other 20 million going into marketing. That analysis clearly underestimated how much the company spent on the game, given that the base game, was retailing at $49.99 on the Epic Game Store, with 1.8 million units sold. That's about 90 million in revenue, or approximately 85 million euro. Yeah, they clearly did not, do anything correct. I didn't realize this game was selling for $50 at retail. So it's not even a $70 game. That's very interesting. What also screwed this game was its Epic Games exclusivity. I believe it's exclusive on Epic Games. That really ruined this game. You guys got to stop doing that, man. Epic Games doesn't have that level of pull, and by the time the game comes out on Steam, it's already an old game, and nobody's caring about buying it. You really should do a multi-release. I don't care how much money they offer you. It's clearly not enough. Whatever money Epic Games offered you, it was clearly not enough because you haven't made your development costs back. You haven't made your money back. Even with all the sales on Epic Games, you still haven't made it back, and they gave your game away for free on their platform at some point. So again, guys, I don't know what you got to do to get these people to release their games on Steam, but stop being stupid and release the freaking games on Steam. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Hope you did enjoy it. If you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you get to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.